this is why women should be in the kitchen, and that's not an insult. The only reason people think that's an insult is because they've been completely conditioned through movements like feminism to degrade women, to degrade their talents. You know, women are fantastic at child rearing, they are fantastic at keeping a home. And these are really important skills that need commending. In fact, they're so important, they're crucial to the future of any humanity or any homogenous group. You know, maybe, for example, white people. Maybe that's why feminism started and they did all the other things they could possibly do to destroy the family unit, destroy men, make it impossible to have children through the cost of living, through the fact that it's really unsafe to have a child now in our multicultural society. But seriously, what I'm about to show you is the reason everything has, I mean, there's many reasons, and of course there's, you know, one group of people, it's the same group of people every time, that are manipulating the whole world. They control all the governments in a deliberate attempt to wipe out any groups of people that have high IQs and the ability to spot patterns, and will maybe stop them in their quest for world domination. It's so hard to do these videos without going off on tangents because there's so much satanic tyranny going on. But what I was trying to say is, you know, essentially wokeism has completely destroyed society. And what led to wokeism was feminism, because that put women in positions of authority, which they should never ever be in, because women don't think logically and they don't spot danger. Because they're not bred to it. It's not in their DNA. Like I said, they're in the tribes that we all came from, but we all lived in thousands and thousands of years. The men would protect, they would spot the danger, they would go and fight, and the women would bring up the tribe. So that's deeply ancestral, that's DNA. And then we take that thousands of years of what works and we change it all up because of equality. Because we managed to brainwash women into thinking that they would have a better life if they were slaves too. You know, we used to have it where just the man had to be a slave and the woman could stay at home and raise the children. And through feminism and inflation and the devaluing of all our currencies, the banking system in general, again ran by the same people, what a shock that is. It got to the point where women had to start working too, and oh, what a coincidence, at the same time feminism came along to tell them that working would empower them and bring them equality. And now they're all basically, you know, walking around being men, pretending they're not even having a moon cycle, a period, and sticking stuff up there. Oh, let's pretend it doesn't happen, let's absorb it, let's keep being a man, rather than honouring what my body's going through in this very sacred time. Anyway, it gets really dangerous when you put them in positions of power like Ministry of Defence, especially when we're in the middle of a war, when our country is being invaded, yet we're being gaslit into thinking that it isn't, and actually the invasion somehow helps us. Diversity is our strength, anyone? So here's Helen McEntee, the Defence Minister for Ireland. So she's in charge of what the Irish army looks like. So let's hear what she's got to say. Hopefully she's going to do something about this invasion, right?
Look, I think it's really important that we see numbers increase more broadly. We still have quite a low number of female members in the Defence Forces. I think...
Oh my God. Oh my God. So this is what happens when you put women in these positions. So how did feminism lead to wokeism? Well, it's because women make decisions emotionally. There's no logic, there's no sense of danger. So when you get people that are easily manipulated through their emotions, and we live in a world where we are run by satanic baby munchers who know exactly how to manipulate people's emotions. For example, do you remember when this whole boat migration thing started? Right at the start of it, we had the dead baby on the beach, face down, and everyone was like, oh my God, babies are dying in the sea, we've just got to let them all in. And you know, the minute that photo was shared, pretty much every single woman, 95% of women in the UK, suddenly became massively pro-migration because they'd been shown a picture, obviously a fake picture, of a dead baby. It's just so easy to manipulate them emotionally, and then we put them in these positions of power and they make decisions based on emotions. And we get to the point where when we're in the middle of an invasion of our own borders, the Ministry of Defence, the head of the Ministry of Defence, is worried about how many women are in the army. I mean, as if women can be in the army. Like, yeah, okay, maybe they can be in some admin roles. I mean, like I say, they should be in the kitchen, but in this society we live in now, where everyone has to work and everyone's been conditioned to believe that that's some sort of freedom, even though it's complete enslavement, women should never, ever, ever be in the army or the police force. They should never be in any role that demands physical attributes, that's going to be violent. I mean, we saw when Trump got shot, obviously not real, but you know, we saw there how the how his bodyguards reacted and how the women hid, and rightfully so, because they're not built for it. You know, they're not built to face confrontation. They're not built to be violent. They're built genetically. They're built to retreat from violence. Let the men deal with that. We'll go and protect the children. But no, this retard wants them all in the army because equality and political correctness. I mean, there's just no common sense here at all, is there? It's like, this woman, like, this isn't a fucking puppet who knows what she's doing. This is a retard that genuinely thinks the most important thing about the army is how many brown people and how many women are in it. Not how effective it is, not can it defend us, not we are actually in a fucking war right now. How many women does it have?
There's a number of things we need to do. Firstly, we need to ensure that there's targeted campaigns, and that's something that's been worked on at the moment. So how do we attract women? How do we highlight that this is a really valuable career for women, that there are many opportunities for women in the Defence Forces? So that's been actively worked on, and that'll be part of the plan that I'm announcing today. Secondly, I think it's really important that we continue with really meaningful cultural change within the Defence Forces. We know
you all knew it was coming, wasn't it? I mean, of course, what could be more important than having a load of invaders in our own army? What could be more important than recruiting everyone that fucking hates us into our own army, especially at a time when they are already invading us? That makes a lot of sense. But actually, it does make perfect sense. She won't get any of this. Like, this is just an absolute useful idiot. That's all this woman is. But the people who are controlling her, you know, the reason they put this rhetoric out there is because they know what's coming. They know, you know, the next, well, they know the next fucking 500 psyops, but you know, the next 5 psyops that they're going to use, let's say, to get us to the point of martial law, and they know that we are getting to the point where people are going to start protesting. I mean, it's getting to the point where even retards are going to have to start asking some big questions rather than just their, you know, tunnel vision that they've always lived in, like, oh, let me just keep up with the Joneses. What do people think of me? Am I being validated? Am I getting attention? Do people think I'm a good person? Am I waving the right flag? You know, that isn't going to keep working for people because it's getting really fucking satanic and tyrannical. They know what's coming. An uprising is coming. So they need an army that will turn on the people. Right now, if the army, let's say it's 90% national, 90% native, they're not going to turn on their own people. They need it the other way around. They need it 90% invaders. And then they won't even need to ask them. They'll be holding them back from doing it before all the martial law and protests and stuff starts. So yeah, that's what this is all about. It's about using your taxes to pay for an army that are going to be used to enslave and kill you. Great.
That there are many women and men who have come forward about challenges that they have experienced within the Defence Forces. And quite frankly, I think that would put off a lot of women in considering this as a career, whereas this is a fantastic career for many women, and I think we need to...
The only career that's fantastic for a woman is being a housewife. Genuinely, that's the only way a woman will ever be happy. If they're you know, not retarded and conditioned. So if you're a woman and this is triggering you, then, you know, you're completely conditioned. There is no way that women aren't happier if they have a husband that looks after them, protects them, brings in the money, and they get to run the house, look after the animals, keep the homestead, you know, and obviously raise children. You know, that, honestly, I was living next door to a family a few days ago, and they had 3 young boys. They were just fucking awful. I moved out of the hotel the very next day. Like, there was no way I was staying around them. They were so noisy. And you could see the dad was just, just a fucking soy boy, like just doing, just trapped in this fucking situation. But at any moment, and he was with the kids, he was a good dad. But at any moment, he would like go for a walk, or he would just stand like a few meters away from family, like just to get a bit of peace. But the mum was just with the kids all the time. And when I started staring at them and letting them know that I was very fucking unhappy with how their children were behaving, they took them into the room for about 3 hours, and the kids were just bouncing around this room, screaming. You could still hear them. And the mother was just sat in there with them, and the dad kept coming out and being like, but the mum can just take it. Like they're absolutely built to rear children. Like they're amazing at it. But instead we're like, career. So then they can, this whole fucking vote thing is such a joke as well. I mean, obviously women shouldn't vote because they have no logic and they can't sense danger. And if women didn't vote, we wouldn't have any left-wing governments. Like you can look back through all the elections, it would have all been right-wing governments. Immigration would never have happened, so we wouldn't be in this mess. But this, what amazed me, I only found this out quite recently. Men only got the vote a decade or two before women. When did women get the vote? Was it the 50s or the 60s? Well, the men got it in 1918. And the only reason the men were given a vote, it used to just be landowners and like fucking the elite. They gave it to the masses in 1918, so they would accept going to the white genocide meat grinder that was World War I and fight against the last stand against the deep state. The good guys didn't win, I'm afraid.
Highlight that there are changes that need to happen, there are changes that are already happening, but that we need to do more as well. So again, a significant part of the two strategies that I'm bringing today will focus on the continued cultural change within the Defence Forces, how we can support women in their roles, but also will highlight campaigns that specifically will target and hone in on the opportunities that are available to women.
Would increasing diversity within the Defence Forces be a major goal of yours as Defence Minister?
So that would be a priority in the new workforce plan as well. The workforce plan will focus on the overall numbers and targets and what we want to achieve. It will focus on diversification within the Defence Forces, which means diversifying in every way possible, increasing the number of women that we have. So that will be set out in the plan that I hope to bring in the coming weeks, and work is well underway in that regard.
Just way too indoctrinated, just way too stupid to be in any sort of job, let alone a job that is so crucial to the safety of the people and the country. They really, the reason I stop there is because I say they, and like that's what I say about the enrichers, like this group. I don't personally like women at all. I can't stand them. I can't stand being around them. But I appreciate that they have just as many attributes as men, but very, very different attributes. And this lie that we're all the same and that we can all do the same jobs and we all have the same roles. Like I say, that dad, like he couldn't bring up the fucking kids. There's no way. I would rather be enslaved than bring up children. Like I hate being around children. And I think it's fantastic that women can do it. I think it's amazing, and obviously it's crucial, and it's the only way that humanity will carry on. So yeah, this retard really needs to get back in the kitchen. But unfortunately, she's so fucking conditioned that that would just be the worst thing ever to her. So sad to see. What a fucking mess. Let me know what you think in the comments. Click some buttons. See you soon.